Alright, and we are in fact live. And I'm going to... Boop, what? Okay, there we go. Okay, now there's my cat. And Ely's back. And Ely, your apartment looks very comfortable, actually. I was going to say comfortable. A nice place to live. It kind of looks like a yoga studio.
Yeah,
with a plant.
It's because I'm doing this thing where I'm sitting on the floor sometimes.
I'm guessing that's... I have no idea.
And no, it's it's to sort of mobilize my hip joints a little bit more, because sitting in a wheelchair is not very good for your hips.
I'm guessing it cradles you too much, and it sort of like pushes up on the sides, and
yeah.
Yep. I know that after 9 hours driving Uber, I feel way too fucking cradled by my car, and it's a little uncomfortable.
Yeah, it can get really uncomfortable to sit for too long.
At the same time, I don't want to sit on Danish hardwood.
No, but that's what the yoga mat is for. That kind of.
That makes sense. And you've got Luna.
Yeah, but I don't sit on Luna.
No, I meant that Luna would keep you company. Joe, we can't hear you. You're muted.
By the way, when I went to the kitchen, I looked over at Luna and she belched because she had just eaten.
At least that's all she did.
Yeah.
Check your mic, Joe. See if it's plugged in. Or if you're still using your laptop's thing, try not sucking, dude. Let's see. Go ahead.
Pixelated today, Jonathan.
Yeah, you are kind of looking a little bit low res. Looks like your stream is not doing so great. Oh, and are you not making any sound, Geek? Oh, shit, I can't hear you. I wonder if it's my internet fucking up this time again. Because I could hear Geek earlier. Oh, that is... I hope I don't have to reboot my shit. Let's see. I've got the red dot. I don't know if that's a bad thing. It's always disappointing when you're supposed to be minimally capable at something and you're not. Let's see.
It says I can't unmute myself.
Well, you're not muted, which is probably why.
No, it was a message from Joe. It says he
can't
unmute him.
Hold on. Let me. I did a thing. It should allow shit. Okay. And allow okay, there we go. And You should be able to unmute yourself now, Joe.
Is that better?
There we go.
Mm-hmm.
It looks like while doing random stuff in the pre-thing, I accidentally unchecked the bit where you can unmute yourself, thinking that I was making it so that you could unmute yourself. I am not minimally capable. And now, Geek, can we hear you?
He might have to also unmute himself.
No,
No, I'm not muted.
You're not muted, but your video is very... You look like a 2003 or 1980s special effect, video-wise.
My internet's unstable, and I can't fucking do any fucking thing about it because, like, I don't know what to do about it. It's just like the...
Have you tried turning it off and turning it on again?
It's a new router.
Oh.
So I guess, like, this is the thing. Sometimes I'll have, like, internet that's unstable, and it's just... I don't know how to, like, do it. Or if, like, even if, like, I turn it off and turn it back on, will, like, do it.
Yeah, I know. It's like sometimes when I'm not pirating TV shows, it's really difficult for me because, you know,
Nothing's
they'll
downloading
they'll buffer very slowly and they'll have to reset sometimes. It's so hard for me.
Yeah, my internet's being a dick today, too. That's why I'm doing this on the phone.
Oh. Actually, that would explain why you have a lot of clarity and you're not getting blown out by the window in the basement.
It's true. It's facing a different direction.
I did figure that, like, something was up, which is why you're on the phone, which is why in the vertical format. That's why Jumbo Boy had to, like, yeah. But anyway,
Which is why it took him like 10 whole minutes to figure out that I had fucked up.
Because, yeah, using the phone amp on Zoom is, like, quite interesting.
Indeed.
But now I'm...
Imagine being Skype in 2020 and thinking, I am going to make all the money off of this plague. Now imagine being Skype today.
It's so weird because, like, they had a semi-stable platform before that. Did they just not...
I think they just weren't able to expand their servers to meet the demand. And they didn't try, I'm guessing?
Yeah, it had to be they didn't try because...
Wait. Why would they need servers? It's supposed to be hosted on the computers of the clients. It must have been a complete cock-up in their code. Because it shouldn't need their servers.
But isn't it also sort of a paid service sometimes?
Yeah. That might have been it. You might have had to buy in first, whereas Zoom, you can start for free.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You only get, like, 4 or 5 minutes of a call, but, like, still.
No. But we pay $10 a month, I think. 15?
Yeah. Well,
ADHD is a hell of a drug, kids.
I looked at the price for, like, Zoom because I wanted to see, like, how much I have to, like, donate to, like, Awesome and Dogs Patreon for, like, them to be able to continue, like, a fluid voice with, like, Zoom and something like that. And I realized it's only available in a yearly plan, unfortunately, in Zoom when I last look at it. And it's just like, it's like $150 a year or something like that, at least when I last look at it. I don't know.
That makes it $8.33 a month.
Yeah.
I'm half-assing that math. Wait, $150 a year. That's going to be more than $10 a month. So it's going to be like $12.50.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah. I think I might have gotten that last one right. But has anything happened in the news this last week?
I mean, I haven't, like...
Oh, wait, no. Steve Shives bought shorts for eating pie in.
Yeah.
That I don't know about.
No, you shared it with Leto Anor on our shared friend. I'm going to go to Facebook.
No. I want to share that later. Oh no, because I know that short at the end is a pun, and because like again, there's the food thing where like Steve Shives or the character Steve Shives, but also Steve Shives himself.
Stuff eating friends. No, it's not. It's not pie. It's sandwich cookie shorts. Shorts for eating sandwich cookies.
No. The cookie.
It doesn't work in my web feed, but it worked on my phone. It said sandwich cookie shorts.
Yes, but it was at the pun at the end of it that I wanted to share with Latano. That's what I wanted to do.
Well, I haven't watched that, so.
I disagree with you. I disagree with the naming convention, though. The instead of referring to it as the the sandwich cookie sandwich, I would refer to it as the sandwich cookie sandwich because it's cumbersome.
Yeah,
That works with the Star Trek convention of making everything as stupid as possible.
That's what you're going for with the joke, but I don't know.
Is it putting a sandwich cookie inside a sandwich cookie, or is it putting a...
No, it's two cookie sandwiches made into a sandwich of cookie sandwiches.
Hi, Limpy. So there's the cookie sandwich that is like the Oreo, basically, or whatever ran in.
Limpy.
And then then there's the sandwich cookie, which is like two cookies where
the cookies are the bread of the sandwich.
Yeah.
Yes,
Okay.
and it's like a cream inside. So that Steve Shots that's short, split that cookie sandwich, again the two cookies, that's the bread with the cream in the middle, and it's cut in half with cream on both equal sides, and then put two Oreos cookie sandwiches in the middle of it, and then put the halves back together.
Hence, I agree with Joe that it's a cookie sandwich.
Yeah.
And
No,
diabetes.
sandwich cookie.
A cookie sandwich cookie, yes.
Or a sandwich cookie sandwich.
Yes.
You gotta
No, you can't start with
to make it
sandwich.
more
Sandwich
cumbersome.
is the noun that comes at the end, not the adjective that comes at the beginning. It's always going to be a sandwich made of cookies. So it's going to be a cookie sandwich, sandwich, I think, is what it's going to be.
Oh my goodness.
I forgot to mention that. I should have mentioned that in the blurb that I said to promote the thing. Is just like the cookie sandwich cookie. Is it a cookie sandwich cookie or is it a sandwich cookie sandwich?
And why do you have to wear short shorts while eating it? That's what I want to know.
Was Steve Shives wearing short shorts?
I imagine he was. You never see him below the waist in his videos, but I imagine him wearing jean
Often
shorts.
you don't.
Cut off jean shorts with the pockets showing off.
He was, now to be fair, he was wearing shorts in one of Steve Shives' shorts, whereas because he was wearing the long johns and then the shorts for the pockets. And as leggings man, as it were, I always wear shorts for the pockets, but also to be decent at work as well too. But just but not short shorts. These are decently length shorts. So.
No. I imagine him wearing jean shorts that have been cut off so that the pockets show off below where the jean shorts have been cut off.
Yeah.
He's like Jason Mendoza after he hooks up with not the robot girl.
Which pocket, the front or
Not
the
the
back?
robot girl.
At the front, probably, yeah.
Yeah.
No, the front pockets and the back pockets because he wants to show off the underbutt.
Yes, exactly.
He wants to show off his expanse of hairy Scottish thigh.
Yes.
Be right back.
Okay. And on that note, John Brock will be up rocks. Worst short shorts are the Rhodesian shorts, Ooh, wow, the Rhodesian shorts, Limpy. And welcome in, Limpy. It's glad to see you as well. Hope you're doing well. Hey, I think I forgot to ask that. How's everyone doing other than like Joe McClory having like intro? Oh my God, you're right, Limpy. S- does Rhodesian shorts?
Wait, Rhodesian shorts? Is that wait? Are you talking about Rhodesia as in the African West white supremacist nation of Rhodesia? Oh my God! I don't know what that would be a reference to in Rhodesia, but that would be fucking dark. Darker than Shives' thighs.
I did not expect we were going to be talking about Steve Shives' thighs here on Social Justice Alchemy, but
I've never seen his thighs, but I assume he has a very full and manly beard.
no, we have seen him shirtless though in a couple of his shorts. We've seen him sleeping and showering from like at least the waist up.
You can buy Rhodesia Camo Bush shorts. Oh my God.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Rhodesian camo bush shorts. It's okay. Yes, the army.
And though that is apparently, it looks like Rhodesia, the Rhodesia. Whew.
I'm sure that they have
Shame. Oh yeah, but I mean, let me see if I can find Spanish.
I mean, I don't know of any army that has like uniforms are meant for their fashion. So.
Yeah.
Let's see. I don't know if it was the Spanish Navy. No, I think it must have been the Spanish Army.
I never thought that we were discussing what like armies like uniforms is the worst, or what like armies.
No. In this case, I think that they were specifically going for super duper sexy because you'll be able to see it on screen. You guys that I'm talking to in a couple of seconds, the people on the stream will already be able to see it. But these guys were basically designed to be strippers, and they have jaw straps that keep them from talking, and it shows off their package. And
I'm seeing it on stream right now. Pecs galore.
It's basically Magic Mike the Army.
Yeah, it is.
I mean, the uniform, their uniform shirt is designed to be opened down to the bottom of the pecs. The pants are super duper tight across the crotch.
Yes.
And their hats have the little sailor caps. Their little little peaky caps have straps so that they can't open their mouths. It is a BDSM sailor boy package for the Spanish Army. And Spain isn't Rhodesia. But they're not a hell of a lot better. They were a fascist oligarchy in the recent past, and then they said, okay, we'll give it up to the monarchy because the monarchy will keep the fascism in place. And then the king said, no, I won't. And he immediately walked the fuck away.
Good on the king for like saying no to the fascism, at least that. But like, still, my stances on monarchy is still the same.
No, he abdicated the crown. I think that Spain is. I'm pretty sure Spain is Spain. I'm pretty sure Spain is no longer a monarchy because he immediately stopped it.
Okay, so good on that king then. So. It's just like.
Oh no, that was my internet.
Like, yeah, I don't want
this. Spain. Oh no, it is still a kingdom of Spain. Okay, so he didn't end the royal. Yep, Philip the Sixth, but he did end the fascism. I'm pretty sure.
So he did.
I was definitely wrong about him ending the monarchy. I'm pretty sure he ended the fascism.
At this point, it's like, is fascism truly over? It's just
No.
like it would just go hiding for a while.
No, because the U.S. still exists. Fascism is never
Well,
over
true.
while the U.S. exists.
Oh no, I can agree with that. Yes, definitely.
Well, and also it's the sort of, because it's so backwards looking, it's the sort of thing that even if you were to eliminate it for 10,000 years, just take people stopping the lookout for it and it would creep back in.
Yeah. There are
Just
people
like
at the
incels
life.
and butt plugs.
Okay, okay, the incels part, yes, I can understand. But why the butt plugs? The butt plugs come
Because the
creeping back
instant
in.
you sit down, if you're not looking, it'll be right there.
That is definitely the reason why many people will go to the emergency room and have like things coming that have to be removed from there. I should not go into
Flared bases,
detail.
everyone. Flared bases.
Um,
Make sure your fascism has a flared base.
Fascists and butt plugs. Remember that for another future title.
more fashion advice from Chanel.
Okay, I think I still.
Oh, that would be the worst. The Donald Trump would be the worst butt plug.
The most annoying butt plug in the world.
He wouldn't shut up. Oh my god, you would be in the emergency room for days. They wouldn't be able to remove it.
My head with all the stitches. It's just like, oh god, I don't want to. Wow.
It would never come out of your ass. It would just stay there, spewing shit.
Yeah, Donald Trump spewing shit. Yeah, that's accurate, and it's just like, I don't want. If Donald Trump is coming out my ass, something's seriously wrong. Then
The Donald Trump butt plug from when you want to be well done instead of done well.
Oh, hello, Jexy, my friend from like many discords in like.
You have walked into the worst conversation, friend. You have walked into the worst possible mind fuck that I come up with, and I come up with a lot.
Always on the Patreon shows too. Not always on Patreon shows, but you got to mind fuckeries and other
Well, we have
times.
more people for me to riff off of and make up stupid, random, weird crap.
No, this is honestly and so Jexy, every second Sunday of the month we are joined by our patrons. So I keep on forgetting to thank our patrons. So
And I need to move your pimpernel. Oh, your pimpernel's in the right spot. Okay.
and so thank you to like the names that are scrolling down at the bottom.
Marty, Von Rick, Ely is with us. Mithril, the Fuck Boys, which includes Geek and Mehmet, who has not been with us for a while. Joe, who is with us. And that
Joe
is
and
all.
Ely. So Joe and Ely, how are you both of you?
I'm good. I had a rough month because one of my friends died.
Oh.
Oh,
Share as much as you want or as little.
yeah. No, it's just he was one of the leaders of the group I was in. He died all of a sudden like 2 weeks ago. We still don't know why he died, but he was only 50.
Oh,
Was it a disability group or a leftist group
no,
or?
it was an LGBTQ AI group, and he was like the most sort of flamboyant gay guy I think I've ever met.
Wow.
Picture faux leopard print, sparkly pants, and big glasses, and like a huge hat with a feather in it.
Wow. Oh my God.
I mean, I want to make all sorts of weird jokes about God, but no, it's just that sometimes.
No. He will arrive in heaven, and everything is going to be much gayer in heaven. When
He's going to start a sparkle party.
Yes. Yeah.
I approve of this.
That's my consolation. Everything's what gay Jesus has embraced his
Yes.
sexuality.
But we know that sometimes white guys die in their early 50s, and it's
Yep.
Yeah,
uncommon, but it happens.
yeah,
And I'm sorry about your friend.
yeah. So am I, and yeah, and it was just, it's just been sort of a big shock.
Yeah, I imagine so.
But it's a shock for the entire community. So it's
At least you have the community to commiserate it with as well too. So like you can like agree with that. So yeah.
yeah,
So Joe.
yeah, but I'm done.
Okay. I didn't want to step on anything heavy.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've been doing really good. I had a fun Easter birthday thing that was, oh God, 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, it was. And that was Trans Day of Visibility too. Yeah.
What do you call it? Weather's finally gotten consistently nice enough that I'm out biking again. Discovered the joy of expensive quasi legging pants that are still cut decently enough that they meet the work uniform kind of thing. Oh, so good, but way too expensive. But comfy and comfortable enough that having a couple of pair throughout the week is fine.
Yeah,
That's
that's a good thing about working Uber. All I have to do is not show brain, and I'm good for pants.
Yep. For me, it's just like I never want to like test it to see it would be like a problem if I go with leggings, but like no shorts because like no, just for everyone else's comfort, put on the shorts.
Put on
so
a dancer
that,
belt underneath the leggings, and you'll be pretty okay, I think.
I think yeah, if I do put on like the dancer belt underneath the leggings, then I'll be like fine as well too. I do know that like SakuraCon does like make that kind of like a thing of a rule for like costumes as where it's just like just don't be on display. Basically, they'll have a better word for it, but just like hey, just for everyone's comfort.
Or maybe learn to tuck. Wear tidy whities.
That too, yeah. I don't like wearing tidy whities anymore. No, good tuck, I know. But like I wear the shorts anyway for the pockets. I just gotta have the pockets.
Yep.
Yeah,
It's either that or wear a fanny pack.
Yeah.
It's the what do you call it? The new men's department thing of the Lululemon styling.
Lululemon.
What did I say?
Lulu.
Yeah.
Too much Fifth Element in my brain. But yeah, like I said, way too expensive, but like good cuts. All of them have pockets. Nice. Even some that I can wear a belt with.
Yes.
Just genuinely nice. Got the big AT-AT. Well, actually, because I'm on my phone, I can just show you how I have that set up. Jesus.
And it just reminded me that man, it's been a long time since I had like a
That's an
yes,
ATSD.
nice. Antan, no, AT-AT. The
AT-AT.
ATSD.
Yes, you're right. Oh, I am shamed.
Damn it, John Broadway, you fail as a Star Wars nerd. It's the ATSDs.
Yeah.
Jedi. Now, yes, the ATSDs were also in Empire, but there was a small one that were 2 legs. The all-terrain scout troop, scout transport. Well, the AT-ATs are the all-terrain armor transports, or something like that. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
And then in the Force Awakens, they had to have like the little flaps that was on the side of the legs, all because of the one time.
Because J.J. Abrams wanted everything to be bigger because he's a bad writer.
He's better. Honestly, again, but here's my problem with J.J. Abrams. He's an excellent marketer, but that's about it. That's where his talents are. He just also happens to like try to make films. And
He wanted to make Star Trek, so he did Star Trek again, but louder. He wanted to do Star Wars, so he did Star Wars again, but louder. Literally, he did this the Space Moon, Death Star, the Death Star, but it's now a planet, and that was his innovation. I swear to God, if Disney hadn't said, you're going to put the original cast in there and kill them off one by one, he would have just recast them and done the original fucking movies again.
yeah. Which is why I really wish they just added a new trilogy off to Rian Johnson, because The Last Jedi is still.
I don't know if it would have been I don't know if it would have been good. It would have been better than what we got, because what we got was a mess.
I'm
and Rian
really
Johnson at least had
curious.
something to say. He didn't just want to do something the same but bigger.
Yes.
And what do you call it? Because The Force Awakens was such a blatant redo of bits of the first trilogy and everything like that, with the end, the very end of the movies, the Luke surrogate trying to hand back the thing, that was the only interesting thing you could do with that scene, him being like, no, I'm done.
I understand Mark Hamill not liking what happened, because it's very disappointing to see this great hero's journey ending in complete failure. But the fact is that is an interesting story, and it's where the story should go 20 or 30 years later.
And what do you call it? The quote that is the quote from the beginning of that, where he was against it, is the beginning of his quote, and it ends and it's but when I got to the end, I realized how interesting a story,
Yeah.
it was.
It's disappointing to see
arc.
Luke fail, but
Yeah.
But also,
that ultimately has to happen if
like
the story is going to go, or somewhere there has to be a failure. And if Luke is going to be involved in the story, then Luke has to have failed.
Yeah. Why else would he be hiding out like that? The setup that Johnson had, the only interesting place it could have gone was.
I think that, honestly, I think that Disney should have replaced a good chunk of the leadership of LucasArts in order to not create the fuck up that is the current Disney franchise of Star Wars. Because the leadership of LucasArts was so used to, who gives a shit? It's all going to be George. Everyone else can just play in the sandbox and do whatever the fuck they want, and then George will ignore it. They did that for 30 fucking years.
yeah.
And it's such a weird thing, because everyone could just play in the sandbox. There are some really fun and neat ideas in there.
Oh yeah.
And they're starting to crop up some of that kind of thing. They I don't think they're executing Thrawn particularly well, but at least that was a genuinely good idea.
Well, I mean, the thing is, with Thrawn and the Book of Boba Fett, it's going to be almost impossible to do it right. Because it has been done so many fucking times. I mean, Timothy Zahn introduced Thrawn with the Dark Force trilogy, right? Or I'm pretty sure it was Dark Force. And he did Thrawn so very well, and then immediately killed him off. But then fans loved him so much they had to bring him back. And Boba Fett was a beloved character who they played with over and over and over and made him an impossible badass in canon. You bring back a character like that, the fans are always going to be disappointed, because to write a good story, they can't be the impossibly awesome character the fans want.
Yeah.
So
I mean, I feel like in theory, Boba Fett could have been done okay if they essentially played him off the same way Jack Sparrow is in the first Pirates movie, where
He's an
he's
impossible
there,
legend,
and
but he
doing
created
awesome
that
stuff,
legend.
But he's not the main character. He is,
Okay,
like
he's not the main character.
like a
That's
force
an
of
interesting
nature
idea.
that's happening
That
here.
is a good idea. Yeah. If they had focused on Finnick Shand or someone else, and
stories that are moved by Boba Fett, but
they focus on someone else. Yeah,
are different characters. Yeah,
that's a really good idea, actually.
and would take
And that would avoid the
yeah.
Dances with Banthas things.
Oh,
But-
Yeah.
I mean, and honestly, I've seen Star Wars Solo. The Han Solo story.
that movie.
It was okay. I thought it was
That movie.
it was an okay heist film, but it wasn't a Han Solo film, and it had too much fan content.
It was so funny because everything that seemed to be like the reason it was made, like, yeah, here's explaining Han Solo stuff. Like, all of that was trash. But the rest of it was a genuinely good heist movie.
Yeah.
Yes.
All they had to do was introduce Han and Chewie.
To make a whole movie was good.
Yeah.
I mean, if they had just spent the entire movie with, like, Lando organizing the heist and Han and Chewie being headbutting heroes the entire time, that would have been awesome. And that would explain why Han and Chewie are best friends at the end and they don't get along with Lando. That would have been an entirely different kind of movie. But it would have been, or actually would have been the same kind of movie, but it would have explained the dynamics. There's a lot of ways to set. I think it was just that they were trying to pander to the fans on that one.
Yeah.
It's like, hey, look, here's how Han got the gun that he had in Star Wars Episode 4. No, you don't need to do that.
You know what though? The gun thing, like, as much as some of the other stuff was stupid, like that one almost, like, that one rounded off around enough that I thought it was, like, I got a kick out of it. Like, I feel like they were almost taking the piss out of it, where it was like just like a component of another gun that another guy just gave him. Like, like, like it almost swings back around. Like, yeah, we got to explain everything. It's like, yeah, but this is just a gun a guy gave him.
I mean, you're not wrong there.
Cats. It didn't take that long for our cat to make an appearance. So it's just like, I agree. Like the whole thing where it's just like, this is a Han Solo story and this origin for many things. It's like, why do we need to know how Han got his like last name is Solo? It's just like, he can't just be named Han Solo. But it had to be like, I'll just give you the name Solo.
I can kind of see where the writers were going with that. You know, it's just a weird, quirky joke, but they were trying to do that so often. Like the way every time Obi-Wan shows up, he has to say, hello there. You know? Because he said that in the first film, so he had to say it in Episode 3, so he had to say it at the end of the Obi-Wan series.
Yeah.
There's a difference between a quirky Easter egg and a cat shoving his butt in your face.
He really wants me to pet her. Like,
then pet her, you fucking monster.
So, before I forget to like mention, if anyone's wondering, hey, where's Isaiah Taylor? He's traveling right now. It's kind of unfortunate that Isaiah Taylor still kind of like traveling his work too, because like I've seen his pictures on like Facebook. He had a really great time at like wherever he was, like, and got to meet some of his heroes and that sort of thing too. So like,
you get to meet LeVar Burton.
Done. No, but many other astronauts as well too, and like people who actually were in Apollo 13 and stuff like that, and like so he had a great time. So like I'm sure he'll like tell us.
He got to meet Tom Hanks.
No, the actual astronauts, not the astronauts. No.
I'm glad I was able to remember a name from that.
Kevin Bacon. Kevin Bacon,
I
Gareth
know.
Spees, Ed Hasner, Clint Howard.
You're just pulling this off the top of your head.
Because Clint Howard because Ron Howard directed it, and that's because Ron Howard directed. He also directed Solo because he came in because like Disney had a problem with the Lego guys as well too, or something happened on that set of
Yeah,
production.
I'm really curious to see where they would have gone because I have thoroughly enjoyed all of their writing.
Yes, exactly. So yeah, I'm really curious too.
Like
But then,
I'm curious what they turned in that Disney decided that no, that's not how we're going to view the nostalgia for Star Wars.
yeah. So Ron Howard just came in to finish it, and I understand Steve Shives why he just doesn't like Ron Howard as a director at all. I'm trying to like think, it's like, well, what does Ron Howard do exceptionally in his movies and stuff like that? I enjoyed Ron Howard's movies. Willow.
I don't know if I've ever he directed Willow?
Did Ron Howard directed Willow?
Okay. That is the only film now that I know that Ron Howard directed. I'm actually going to have to... Go ahead, list them.
Yeah, I know that he directed Beautiful Mind. He directed The Da Vinci Code and like Angels and Demons and something like that. Let's see, Cocoon.
So you're saying that he's old.
And he did also directed that Solo movie as well, but came in to finish it after the fact as well too.
Here's my hot take on Ron Howard. He is a perfectly competent director, and if you want a director who will not impose any real style on a film, he's not a bad choice.
Yeah,
Wow.
yeah, I will agree with you.
Well, so you're saying he is a more competent Zack Snyder?
Yes.
No, Zack Snyder has a very distinctive style that he adds to movies.
Oh, you're right. He does the ramping and he does the oversaturation. You're right. Wow.
What do you call it? Christopher
He's the
Columbus
invisible Zack Schneider.
Or Chris Columbus is another really good example of that.
Yes.
Who else does Zemeckis, I think.
Robert Robert
Yeah,
Zemeckis.
Robert
I've been thinking about Forrest Gump a little bit recently because I'm aware of who Nathaniel Bedford Forrest is, and fuck you very much, Robert Zemeckis, for making Nathaniel Bedford Forrest into a joke. It's like, oh, Southerner named his kid after a fucking white supremacist who murdered black people.
Yeah.
That's not a joke. That's not a one-off, you fucker.
Have you read the novel that Forrest Gump is based on?
I remember vaguely a friend or a classmate reading a bit of it when I was in middle school. It was a very different book.
It's a very different book. Forrest Gump goes to space with a chimp.
So he's explicitly made into an animal because he's a retard.
Yes, something like that. But the thing that the novel has going for it is that it's not sappy like parts of the movie is.
The entire fucking movie is nothing but America, America, America. If you just... He's a good boy, loves his mama, loves Jesus, and beats up brown people and anyone who threatens a woman.
What do you call it? I heard a fun thing about that. Forrest Gump is essentially if they had made Joe Dirt as a serious movie instead of a comedy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Forrest Gump
I
is
see
mayonnaise
Joe
the
Dirt.
person.
I say Joe Dirt. That is accurate, Joe.
That is true, yeah. Because, he's a dipshit who wanders through life, gets everything he wants, and then gets to have sex with Robin White. It's like Forrest Gump is mayonnaise the person, but, you tone it down. You remove the spice.
And that's what I like about the novel is that Forrest Gump in that book is more self-aware in some ways. he knows that he's not the most intelligent guy, and he knows that he's just he's just not a stereotype like he's in the movie where it's like inspiration porn the movie.
Yeah, it's inspiration porn, the movie, yeah. And
Yeah.
he only shows the barest hints of self-awareness in the movie. Like, at one point, like the thing, stupid is as stupid does. I may not be a smart man, Jenny, but I know what love is. And then he gets to have sex with the slut, who then goes on to get AIDS and die. Because that's what sluts
Yep.
do.
Yep. Leftist sluts as well.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Anti-war. That movie gave us the fucking... Who's the baby killer? Like, Robin writes Jenny's boyfriend when Forrest comes home from war and they're about to go to the protest, or they've just come from the protest at the Washington Mall. He looks, the boyfriend looks at Forrest and says, "Who's the baby killer?" Before that movie, no one had ever thought that anyone had ever called any veteran a baby killer. But suddenly, every fucking Republican asshole thinks that everyone was calling veterans baby killers. Because of Robert Zemeckis.
I thought that was a more contemporary lie. Like that was a thing
No. Somebody actually looked into it and found that that line came from that movie.
Shit. Because I know there are a few of the white nationalist groups that started in Vietnam veteran things because there was not necessarily an act of resentment, but because the war wasn't popular.
Oh no, you're definitely right about that. I'm just saying that line about calling soldiers baby killers came from Robert Zemeckis.
They felt that they weren't as respected in the veteran communities as the World War II veterans.
Oh, they weren't. You're absolutely right. I'm just saying that Robert Zemeckis invented whole cloth the baby killer thing, and ever since then, for the last 30 fucking years, everyone is convinced that people were spitting on Vietnam vets. The thing is, they weren't. They were spitting on the war.
Yeah.
My dog just walked in, if you're wondering why there was a loud thumping noise recently. Because I was giving him the pets he deserved. But, I mean, let me ask you a question. How do you think college graduates felt about the Vietnam War while it was happening? Positive or negative?
Negative, I would think. Well, it's like the war went on for a long time, honestly. But like, they're speaking, I guess would be negative just based on my experience with the Iraq War. But that one we kind of like knew that was a lie from the beginning. I wonder if like people like knew that like Vietnam was a lie from the beginning as well too, because like I guess there's always like people that are anti-war period as well too, and then and with Vietnam as well, it'd be kind of the question is like, well, why are we involved in that one since like it doesn't seem to involve us? So.
Joe, Illy, any thoughts? How do you think college graduates felt?
I don't know because of where I live and stuff, but I think the war was kind of discussed in a very negative light in my country, at least.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised by that. Joe?
By sort of the hippie movement.
Yeah.
The fact that it's graduates and not just students and doesn't include dropouts, it's probably the other way, just because it wouldn't be.
Oh, you caught it! You fucking nailed it! College graduates were fucking Republicans. Or they would be Republicans now. They were in favor of the war. So that is where Robert Zemeckis comes in. What's that?
What?
I don't know what margin it was, but I know that college graduates during the war, they were no longer susceptible to conscription. They no longer had to worry about that shit. They had money, and they were voting for Nixon and Reagan.
Yeah. When was the Vietnam War? Was that Before
That
everything-
was God, mid 50s to mid 70s, late 70s.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah, it's really funny.
we-
Go ahead.
My what do you call it? My mom
55 to 75. I know
has
that. Wow.
is the eighth. My
She's
mom is
what?
the eighth of 16 children.
Wow.
So she has a lot of brothers and sisters, and a decent amount of the brothers were joined the military at different
Your grandma's a slut.
different times. And it's really funny. Like just like you can like talk to them like up to a certain point of like, you know, how they feel about culture and how like kind of comes down to it's like one of my uncles, my uncle Ted, who's now who has sadly passed, was like the only one who had like gone to Vietnam, and like he just talked about how shitty it was and how bad it was, and then like the military service in the family just stops, and everyone before that has like super enthusiastic feelings, like, you know, soldiers for days, and everyone beyond that is like, yeah, military's not great. It's so interesting.
Yeah, you get a lot of cutoffs like that. But yeah, the reason I asked that was because, you know, we have this misconception about history, you know, that that was perfectly illustrated by Geek versus Joe. I mean, that college means that you're against war, but being in college at the time meant you were against war, because a lot of people joined college, they went to college, sorry, so that they wouldn't have to go to war. And that's why there was that huge conception. So
Wasn't there a huge riot once at a college? where
I am
people
pretty
were-
sure you're thinking of Kent State.
Yeah.
The Kent State Massacre, where
Yeah.
the National Guard murdered a bunch of students who were protesting the war. I'm going to go ahead. I don't know all the details about it, so I'm going to go ahead and bring it up. Not the Kent State shoot. Yep. They call it the Kent State shootings. Wow. I'm going to go ahead
Yeah,
and
they
bring
did
it over here.
Golden State shooting. Yeah.
The Kent State officer related shootings.
Way to make it even worse. Wow.
Yeah.
I have looked, like, every time I hear that term, I like perk up and like listen to even see if they ever refer to a police officer being killed by that, and I have yet to hear it.
Yep.
Yeah. But
Like it's always, you know, like hero was killed by a criminal, or, you know, accidentally caught in the line of fire from another police officer or something like that. Never refer to an officer. Passive voice is only for when cops kill people.
Yep. The Kent State shootings, or the May 4th massacre, and the Kent State massacre resulted in the killing of 4 and wounding of 9 unarmed college students by the Ohio National Guard on the Kent State University campus. They took place on May 4th. Is that May Day?
Yep.
No, it's Star
Okay.
Wars Day.
No, not Star Wars.
Oh,
Day.
that's
Yeah, May-
okay. That's why it sounds
May
familiar.
Day is May 4th.
Yeah.
May Day is
4th.
May 31st. Yeah.
May Day is at first. No, May Day is like May 1st.
May 1st.
Yeah.
Okay. During a rally opposing the expanding involvement of the Vietnam War into Cambodia. Oh, fuck you very much, Henry Kissinger. Glad that motherfucker is dead. His grave, by the way, is a gender-neutral bathroom. Don't take bathroom advice from our podcast. Yeah. So there was a protest by students against the Vietnam War, and 4 people died, 9 were killed. Or 4 people died, 9 were injured. Sorry.
Yeah.
It resulted in a lot of iconic imagery, some of which made it into Zack Snyder's fascist version of the Watchmen film.
That was not a complete edition. That was a scene.
No, he did a shot-for-shot, panel-for-panel remake. I'm just saying that his version was fascist
That's
because
not
he's a
completely
fascist.
true. He did add things, and
He put in Lee Iacocca and he changed it from an alien to Dr. Manhattan Attack. I'm pretty sure those are the only changes I remember.
what do you call it? Uh, he the killing of the old night owl was implied instead of shown, and it doesn't imply that he like turned and tried to do his best to fight them off or anything like that. It wasn't a grand moment. It was an old man being killed by white supremacists.
Yeah.
What do you call it? Shoot, I'm trying to think of. There's a few other like interesting. Essentially, it's stuff where characters that are supposed to seem like flawed and broken are also badass. Like a lot of the like themes of showing them as being badass are additions.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think he didn't understand. Like, what's his name? Night Owl 2, Dan Dreisberg, was supposed to be feeling impotent at one point. I don't remember getting that from the movie. It was text. It was explicit in the comic book, basically.
Yeah.
But
the
I think he
funny thing
removed that.
is there's like in the extended version there is like
Penis.
they do the implied sex scene from the comic as a full-on sex scene, and because the way it's filmed is like that actually
Wait. It was
like,
supposed to be implied in the movie? In the movie, it was... It was actually pretty much... It wasn't... I mean, it wasn't explicit in the comic, but it was definitely there. It was...
In the comic, it's definitely... It definitely happens.
They drop their clothes and then the flamethrower goes off.
They drop their clothes and then the flamethrower goes off. Yeah. It's kind of a joke, but in the extended cut of the movie, they like actually like show thrusting and whatnot, and it looks so like unpleasant.
He's putting his penis into her belly button, like in the third Underworld movie.
It like almost back around and like, oh, this looks like a lame sex scene. This looks like just a it's not, and it's so it almost.
I mean, the
works
thing
again.
is, if that had been intentional, it would have been brilliant.
Yeah, and I know it wasn't because it was cut.
Because it should have been a lame sex scene, because that's what it was. They were supposed to be getting their rocks off, and he's feeling empowered, and she's feeling horny, because they just beat up a bunch of guys, and that's it.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't think Zack Snyder gets that shit.
No,
I mean, he literally copied the comic panel for panel in its most iconic moments.
Mm-hmm.
And he didn't add... I don't think he added anything that was meaningful. And he made the weirdest random changes. Like the thing where he switched from the alien to Dr. Manhattan being the final fake villain. Spoilers, by the way. For a 15, 16-year-old movie.
Yeah.
And what, 25, 30-year-old comic?
Almost 40 at this point, I think. But, I mean, it's like, the point of the original comic was that, what's-his-nuts, Ozymandias, was making up a fictional villain so that the bad guys, the fascists, would have something to focus on forever. Mm-hmm. And the uncertainty at the end was whether or not the fiction would be revealed and the fascists would once again turn on each other.
Yeah.
It was supposed to be a stupid comic book thing because Alan Moore is always taking apart stupid comic book things.
Yeah.
But Snyder, I don't know why he changed it. I think he probably thought it was too much of a stupid comic book thing and didn't know what Moore was doing.
Mm-hmm.
But he actually ended up setting the scene for the Watchmen series that followed, the sequel.
Mm.
Because
I didn't see it.
Because Dr. Manhattan is an enemy that can be defeated. A fictional alien that doesn't exist is an alien that can never be defeated, so the fascists could always have it there as a threat and could always maintain power.
Yeah.
But Dr. Manhattan being something that can be killed, the fascists can eventually be brought down once that threat is ended. Showing that Zack Snyder is stupid and fascism will always eat itself.
I hope.
Yeah. I think that fascism. I don't know. I don't think that Zack Snyder's a fascist. I think he doesn't have anything to say. He's like a less talented Michael Bay.
Yeah, well, it's just like, well, we had this conversation last time, so we're having the conversation again. But I still contend that like he has like if he's not fascist tendencies, at least like definitely Iranian tendencies for sure, because like he's like in pre-production for Atlas Shrugged.
Ayn Randian. I thought you said Iranian. I was like, what the fuck are you going with this?
No, Iranian.
No, I agree with you about the Ayn Randian thing. He's definitely he's a privileged white guy for sure.
Yep.
Yeah, it's not. It's totally unfair to call Zack Snyder a fascist. It is not unfair to say he has sympathies with fascism.
Yeah, I agree there. Yeah,
he's made fascist porn, the 300.
Yeah,
exactly.
the most successful Nazi propaganda since the triumph of the will.
But then again, so there's a lot of white privileged guys.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And not all of them make the same privileged porn that he does. I mean, there's Joss Whedon, privileged white guy, but he did recuperation instead of fascist propaganda.
Yeah. Change the topic as well. To someone I want to bring up. I mentioned this on like social media and asked this around and asked this to Steve Shots last Askway last Friday. But like, so I want to put it to the group. And honestly, what the details is like, I hate the vagueness of it. But the question is, would you like to get like $200,000? But never do anything that can be counted as like work or be productive as well too. And again, the vagueness on that I have an issue with. Or receive $700,000, but have to work 50 hours a week every week. And again, it's
$200,000 because I could never work 50 hours a week. I would get migraines and die.
Is it a month or is it one time?
Yeah, that's the thing. I don't know if it's just one time for how long, like a year or something like that, or is it like forever $200,000 each year, but you can't work, or $700,000 a year, but you have to work at least 50 hours a week.
I mean, $200,000, I could buy a house and I could start renting out rooms. I would be a landlord and I could be a useless tit.
I mean,
John, being a landlord is work.
Oh. Well done, Joe.
I wanted to hold it for another second just to see.
You made it. You landed. You stuck the landing. 8 points from the East German judge.
Is it before or after tax?
I don't know about that part.
Oh, stop being capitalist about it. The point is just, which would you do?
But I agree, there's too much vagueness in that question.
There is a lot of vagueness, yeah.
Yeah, because because I would of course choose the first because I can't work 50 hours a week.
Yeah.
But it's like, I'm just trying to calculate how long that money would actually last me.
Yeah.
With a whole bunch of factors like price, like inflation and tax.
Health issues and
yeah.
Yeah. It probably
I think a better way to phrase that question would be, would you be willing to accept subsistence existence that was provided without any work on the provision that you had to prove that you weren't doing anything on the side, or what weren't producing.
No. How about this? You
Essentially,
just
you have
never
to
get
you have
to
to
have anything. You never get to own anything.
yeah.
You live in a place
Or
and get food and never get to enjoy. You never get to own stuff. Or you get to own stuff,
or
but
would you like to live comfortably, like not even like live extraneously, live comfortably, but you'd have to work as
would you
hard
rather
as you
live as a
can.
servant or would you rather have the 3/5 lifestyle of the slave?
I was going
Yeah.
to take it in that direction, but like, I don't know.
I mean, we're
So,
talking capitalism, and that's what the 3/5 compromise was. Um,
well, yeah, but I so like the thing with like the 200,000 option is where too that provision of like can't do anything that's considered work or considered as productive as were as was originally phrased in the question is were, and I don't know if I can bring myself to be able to do that because like if I accept the $200,000, I want to act. And would acting in community theater count as being productive or like count as like work or something like that? I guess if it was like community
if
theater
it brings
volunteer.
people joy, if people are willing to pay for it, that's the thing about capitalism is that it ruins so much.
And there's definitely notes on that, because what do you call it, if you're under certain disabilities, if you are doing those sorts of things, like a lot of
Mm-hmm.
organizations will like, or people will like tell on you, and when the inevitable, we need to cut a certain amount of money out of programs thing comes around, the people who always cost more than they save will, go through records and be like, oh, this person is,
Mm-hmm.
they're not really making money at it, but they're doing a lot of community theater in that. Clearly, their back is working enough that they can work 8 hours a day, standing all day, every day, and
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
so we can cut them off of disabilities now.
Yep.
But
yeah.
but but it's also like what is it's like I don't do any work that has like any sort of monetary value, but I do a lot of labor in taking care of myself,
Mhm.
which is also labor.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, Brenda kind of brought that up because like there was a discussion as well too that like where it's like I would probably have to do work if I do chores and stuff like that. Someone said, "Ah, no, that doesn't count. That's a given and stuff like that." Okay, but if
Oh
I
no!
do
If
chores,
women do it, it's not work.
well, yeah, that's the thing. If like if people do, if I do cooking, cleaning, and like doing laundry for someone else, like a maid, that's count as work. But yet, if I
Yeah.
do cooking, cleaning, and like laundry for just myself, doesn't. It's kind of still
Yeah.
labor.
Yep. Yep. Yep.
Yeah.
And that goes into the Marxist like labor theory, reproductive like theory of reproductive labor, that sort of thing too,
Mm-hmm.
and like
Yep.
and people with wombs like are roles and that sort of thing too, as well as like
I
traditional
need to
women
find someone to
patriarchal.
teach me about Marx who isn't a Marxist. Because those motherfuckers.
Yeah.
Oh, is I mean Zoe Baker is an anarchist as well as a Marxist, so it's like so I would like go with her, but
Okay.
like
Okay. There we go.
she does Joey Baker Narco Pack has like a lot of videos on like Mark's on her channel as well as like Andergans and other stuff as well too. But so for me, I kind of like. I also like to say if I like take the 200,000 hour option, I would like play a lot of video games because there's a lot of video games I want to play and presumably I have
I
a lot of
would
free time to do that.
watch so
But
much totally
I
legal television.
But I would also then well, I would also want to stream on Twitch the video games I'm playing because I do enjoy doing that too. Because
But you turn off the money option, and therefore it's not productive.
I guess
Except you're
it's just
making money for Twitch whether you do it. God damn it.
it's I
Fucking
have to
capitalists.
well I have to like not be affiliate. There are some people
Mm.
that like just choose not to be affiliate whatsoever, and the only way
But
they can like yeah
it would be so hard to exist and not on some level do something that is paid or not labor. You know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
It would
like-
be impossible.
Yeah.
I mean, wiping your ass would be labor.
Yeah.
Yep.
It would be you'd be doing something productive because you would be preventing yourself from having an itchy butt and nothing else.
Yeah. So.
At the very minimum.
Yeah. So.
It's a weird question. I get where the question's coming from,
Yeah.
but
So for me, it's
But
just
it's
like,
like-
yeah. Go ahead.
I never had I did do something that was kind of like work that I did get paid for a short while, but I couldn't. It wasn't good for my mental health and my body. But now I say that I can't do any labor that has like monetary value, but I can do productive things like go to a rally or like try to rile people up to.
Yeah.
to
that is
make a-
valuable. Yeah.
Yeah,
Doing art too.
yeah,
Huh?
and yeah, and it's just like I kind of think that gives my life purpose. But even if I didn't work, my life would still have purpose. I mean,
Yeah.
Yes,
it's-
absolutely.
Yeah.
And I mean, my situation, like where I'm now doing Uber full time. For a little while there, I tried doing morning rush hour and evening rush hour instead of evening rush hour and drunk hour. But trying to do that meant that I started getting migraines because something about morning sunlight makes me have migraines. That would have made me look a lot more like a productive member of society. It would have meant that I could participate during the daylight hours in the banking stuff and the grocery stuff. But it
Yeah.
also would have meant that I would have been in debilitating pain for a couple of hours a day, every day.
But
Yeah.
there are so many people who do nighttime labor that's absolutely essential to make things run smoothly, like healthcare workers and people who transport goods also work at night sometimes.
And janitorial services. There's so much stuff that happens after the banks close that is vital.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
And there's so much stuff that happens in the bank that isn't.
Yeah. But,
Oh, yeah. There's so like every time somebody like talks about inflation and like, there's like, how is it always the workers and never the money that you get from just having money in a bank? Like that's value being created that diminishes the value of all other things. But it's always workers getting paid more that causes inflation.
But, I mean,
Yeah.
the fact is, they make that shit up.
Yeah.
Right-wing economists have always made that shit up. And that is becoming more and more evident now that more and more economists is like, oh, shit, everything is horrible, and it's our fault. I'm sorry.
then I'm just like, then fix it. Then let's try something else.
Yeah.
Wait,
Well, the problem is that they're just cogs in the machine, you know?
yeah.
And not all of them are... What's this nuts? Sell. The economist guy with the button.
Is it the leftist economy guy?
Oh God, why can't I think of his name?
The guy who they made fun of on Comedy Central so long ago, just after Bear Stearns. He said,
Mad
"Bye,
Money
Bear
Guy.
Stearns." Yeah, the money guy.
Yeah.
No, just got made fun of by John Oliver.
Oh,
But
I
yeah.
haven't been watching last week tonight.
There is there was a time, I forget when it was.
When I
It
was so broken hearted.
no, like a 10-year period of his show. I don't know if it's the case for all of it, but like during the stretch between when it started and like 2 years after the 2008 collapse, if you had not followed the advice that he gave, but instead shorted all of the people that he gave good advice about, and bet on all of the things that he said were going to dip, you would have earned, I want to say it was 1.7 times more, would have gotten 1.7 more times the value that you've done invested. Or if you had just done nothing, you would have gotten
Jim Cramer.
what do you call it? 0.2 more, 0.2 times as much more. You know, you would have not lost that amount, but also gained some money by just not investing in the things he suggested investing in.
Yep, I was thinking of Jim Cramer. Yep, and he's the bald guy who has the button that says "buy, buy, buy" or a button that says "sell, sell, sell."
Oh, that guy, yeah.
And he was destroyed by Jon Stewart, was the name I was trying to remember. And recently, he was featured on a John Oliver thing, laughing his dick off at an IPO suggestion or something like that from the Uber Eats guy or GitHub guy, because John Oliver recently did a special on something adjacent to my profession, food delivery, which is apparently destroying people and restaurants and the people trying to make profit off them. And Jim Cramer was just sitting there, just basically jizzing his pants for about 3 minutes while a CEO said, "Hey, we're failing." And he said, "That's good. That's good. That's a good thing. Bye, bye, bye." Jim Cramer's a terrible person.
Well, that's the thing about like the economy, and especially how economists talk about it. What people don't know is like if your house is foreclosed, the GDP of your country goes up by a little bit. I don't understand. It's just like, and I want to understand the economy so I can critique it and like say this is why it's terrible as well too, which is actually the kind of Tristan Johnson of Setback History. He has another channel, Tristan Road Shut Up, but he had a video he did like years ago of like how it's the communist that makes the best capitalists because they figure out
because we know how it fucking works. Under capitalism, the most valuable individual is a terrorist dying of pancreatic cancer. Because he's terrifying, he makes constant news, and he's in the hospital racking up $40,000 a day.
And even if no one ever pays that amount, because all of the hospitals can do a tax deduction based on the loss, based on the amount the insurance company would give or you would pay if you were to pay the full non-insured rate, which no one pays because it's too much for anyone to pay.
Imagine the magician with the cards between his hands. That is capitalism.
Yeah.
We just pretend money exists, and then suddenly rich people steal shit from poor people.
I remember back to like conversations I had to Kirok, where it's just like apparently Kirok is a socialist, or he says he's a socialist. I don't know, but it's just like he would have to still pay bills, and like that's why he needs to like earn profits for like his business, as where it's just like a hot dog stand.
I mean, he could be a mutualist.
Yeah.
Like, I understand mutualism. You know, there needs to be a way to keep track of all the stuff we're doing, and it makes sense to put it into a somewhat fictionalized version where you keep track of some sort of value. The problem is that I don't trust the people making the valuations.
Yeah.
It's like one of those things where, you know, like, he probably means well, but, you know, unless he's, you know, paying his workers an amount that is commensurate with their labor, any small business, you know.
I mean, it's like, we have a natural.
not a socialist.
We have a natural, or at least some research suggests we have a natural desire to make sure that everyone gets their due.
Yeah.
And that makes sense.
Yeah.
And a lot of people feel like under communism, people wouldn't get their due. Or some people would get things they weren't due to.
Yeah, but also,
and it's rough because the first half of that, the not everyone getting their due, there's because the large examples of nations that have called themselves communist were also authoritarian.
Yeah.
In fact,
there
they
were
were
a lot of people that went without.
Yeah.
That were working, that were
China,
working.
fucking China.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean,
it's like.
See, people today still think that China, right now, as it is currently is a communist country, and it's just
That is such.
there are communists calling China a communist country.
Yeah. But it. Oh,
Communists I
Does
respect
China
in a lot of ways.
I don't even have that pretense anymore? Or do they not generally refer to themselves as that anymore?
They do still call themselves communist, and they do still maintain the propaganda. And they do a lot of work to maintain that.
Yeah, and because they have to do a lot of work to maintain that, in certain situations, they use their authoritarian power for the betterment of the people.
Exactly.
Like, even that pretense makes them a better country.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
And that is one of the things that
as much as how fast because the poverty in so many of the low-lying areas and whatnot, because the coronavirus hit so fast and spread so hard within that country, it's hard to actually look at the whole thing and be like, yeah, I mean, after there was enough time for them to know for sure it was a problem, they actually did a good job controlling it.
And the fact is,
not nearly as good as the countries that are closer to what we would refer to as, having the beliefs of communists. Like Vietnam did an amazing job controlling, but also they weren't ground zero for it, so it's hard to say. And
like Hakeem, a YouTuber I follow, who is a super duper China apologist. One of the things he uses to apologize for China and the USSR is to say that communist countries are always, for the citizens, better off. The citizens are better off health-wise and economics-wise than capitalist countries at the same level of development.
Yeah, I have seen those stats,
and I agree with that. It makes sense. I mean,
and a part of that is because of the pretense of the underlying,
and I don't think it's just pretense.
They have to do certain,
I don't think it's just pretense. I think Stalin thought of himself as a communist. He was a terrible person, and he was terrible at communism.
Yeah.
But I do think he was trying to be a communist.
Go ahead, Ellie.
One thing that drives me absolutely crazy at the moment is when people still think of Russia as being communist now to this day, and it's like it really is not. It's like
they have a dictator, therefore they're communist.
They don't.
yeah.
They don't.
Yep. No, I get it.
The thing about Russia that gets me is they don't even have the pretense anymore.
No, but they're still called communist.
They don't call themselves communist
No,
anymore.
they're commies because they're Russian.
No.
Shut the fuck up. You wear your red shirt, you fucking commie stooge.
Oh, the funny thing about that is I'm wearing a red shirt that is literally a
D20.
a thing for a business. It's a gaming store shirt.
And people overestimate sort of the so-called threat from China. It's like it's just like, is it any more of a threat than the U.S. when they were at the most powerful?
I think that China is more of a threat than the U.S. at its most powerful, because it has greater access to natural resources and more people.
Yeah.
But at the same time, the U.S. and its allies have done a hell of a lot to try and hem China in. That's what Taiwan and South Korea and Japan and the Philippines are. They're in an attempt to string a bead of islands around China so that she doesn't have access to the sea.
Yeah.
So that when, not if, war comes, we can cut China off, because wealth comes from the sea.
Yeah.
But I think that China is just too big, and the mandate of heaven has returned, and therefore they're too organized, they're too powerful, they're too industrialized. They're too much a modern capitalist empire with enough allies overseas. We cannot cut them off in that way.
Yeah.
And it's so I don't think that China wants to militarily control the world. There's certainly some evidence that that if it were possible, they would like to economically rule the world. But it's literally hard to say whether that would be a worse thing for the world than America economically controlling the world.
I think it would be the same thing, and I agree they don't necessarily.
I imagine it would be similar.
Yeah.
If
I agree they don't necessarily want to conquer the world.
Be like any more than like 10%.
Yeah.
I think if they're going for, what seems to be the case, to what little I know, the traditional Chinese view, once you control China, you control the world. China is what matters, in the same way that, as far as Rome was concerned, the Mediterranean was the middle of the world. That's literally what it meant. China literally means the middle kingdom, the center of the world. I think once you control China, I think they are just going for a position of dominance. I don't know that they'll go for conquest. But at the same time, they have gone for conquest in their 6,000-year history.
So, yeah, and even if they're not doing it now, if they just were able to, consolidate control in their region and not be hemmed in, and all they wanted was to not be hemmed in, who's to say what the next leader or the next popular movement, of that region would want,
I think the next Snowball, the pig, could be an expansionist piece of shit, or could be an indolent piece of shit. I was definitely referring to, what's his name? George Orwell there. Animal Farm.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Snowball was the guy who failed the revolution, I'm pretty sure.
I still have not read Animal Farm or seen any of the...
I remember the cartoon. It was pretty horrifying, and they made us watch it when we were kids.
But it's also like, if the U.S. doesn't get its shit together, and it's just like, my cousin's husband is American, and he was afraid of things just breaking down and ending in civil war.
Oh, it absolutely could. I mean, if into wealth inequality keeps growing, then social cohesion breaks down. That's why pretty much every third world shithole is a third world shithole in constant threat of chaos, is because we enforce that extreme inequality. And if it grows here in the heartland, then it'll happen here too. And that's why we had riots in the Capitol. I mean, the white supremacists that stormed the Capitol were fascists. but they
Yeah.
were doing it because they were scared.
Yeah.
There's an interesting series of the Behind the Bastard podcast that was essentially viewing the strikes and the labor actions of the I want to say 20s and early 30s that initially ended mostly ended after the compromises of the New Deal and that.
Yeah.
And like talking about
even after the New
about
Deal,
both-
we had like 100. We had triple-digit strikes every year, even after the New Deal.
yeah, but
Labor was
but talking-
powerful
talk-
until Reagan.
talking about those labor actions, the violent labor actions, as
Violent is a good
the
point.
second not only the second American Civil War that essentially just didn't that was essentially that the government did a conditional surrender to, that like the only reason that didn't become a civil war is because
FDR won the election.
FDR won the election and it's like actually decided to make peace with the people because it didn't look like the military of the time could have held back the workers. And
Because the military at the time would have joined the workers, just like in the
yeah.
Russian Revolution. But Ely, you had something to say.
My point is just I really hope for you guys that your country doesn't dissolve into civil war or like a bureaucracy or something.
I doubt that it will. Who knows if like Trump does win? That is concerned.
If it comes to civil war, I think it will rapidly devolve into a fascist crackdown and not a civil war.
True. Also, like what I think was kind of more interesting is not necessarily like a full-out like all-born civil war of like secession states and stuff like that, but more of like pockets of like
All
moments
against all.
or like incidents of like troubles, basically.
It'll be blue against red. It'll be cities against rural. It'll be it'll be neighborhood against neighborhood, and the cops will come out, and then they'll call out the guards. They'll call out the troops. It'll be a military thing, and it will be a complete lockdown within a week.
The 2020 in Minnesota and Minneapolis. Yeah, the National Guard was walking.
Go ahead.
The National Guard was walking in through the streets. They're just like making ensuring lockdowns after. Well,
You'll have black
Minneapolis.
vans grabbing people off the streets.
Yeah.
But with that disturbing note, it's been an hour and a half. It has been a lively and wonderful discussion. I thank you all.
We went all over the place. Donald Trump was
that was a trip.
I tried to start lighthearted, and y'all made it dark.
Okay, who came up with like the Donald Trump as a butt plug?
Raising my hand, like I said.
I'm not saying I wasn't complicit, but
and we also have
Depends on what your definition of butt plug is.
Wait, what were you saying, Illy?
we also had a long discussion of Steve Shives.
Yes.
And body hair.
Yes, Steve Jobs.
I'm pretty sure he wears shorts, cut off jean shorts. Just imagine him doing it gardening. No, just so you know, he's doing the gardening in a t-shirt with the sleeves ripped off and the shorts cut off.
Steve Shives' first trap.
Steve Jobs thirst trap. That's a hashtag.
And when he goes inside, the magic happens, and he's a puppy boy.
No. Here's the thing: if we have Steve Jobs back on, because eventually
It's never going to happen. Let's be honest.
No. But if we do, the title of that episode should be Steve Jobs thirst trap. And on that note,
We got to make sure that him and Dana Cole hook up.
Yeah.
Actually, no. Fun fact: they already did. They dated Cole and like a sea chats were boyfriend and girlfriend in college.
Oh.
That's how they know each other.
And now I feel awkward and.
But they're like,
shut up.
no, like, but no, two different people privately messaged me once Dana Cole became more active on C Shy's channel. It's like, are Dana Cole and C Shy's dating? It's like, no, Dana Cole's married and lives in Georgia as well too. But it turns out they dated in college, which is where they met. And, anyway,
I'm still feeling uncomfortable, and I'm not going to say anything.
Hey, they're good friends. It seemed amicable breakup or something like that. They're still good friends. So
Nope. I'm not going to say anything about the divorce.
Men can't be friends.
yes.
Yeah.
Harry Met Sally taught us that men and women can't be friends.
So they can be friends.
So anyway, Joe, Ely, anything to promote?
My cat account on Blue Sky. Let's see if we can get it popping a bit more.
Princess Luna on Blue Sky.
Yeah.
Yep, I found it.
Because I'm almost done with Twitter at this point.
No, yeah, that's fair.
Almost done. I haven't been on Twitter in a year. Has it been a year since What's His Nuts acquired it?
No, it's been 1.5 years.
Yes.
Yeah, I'll say it's been longer than that, I think.
Oh, the fucking plague times. I have no sense of time.
Right?
Yes. When I play Magic the Gathering, yeah, go ahead, Joe.
I'm trying to like nothing really. I got I've been listening to the long backlog of Behind the Bastards while playing what do you call it? Death Stranding became one of the PlayStation if you subscribe to their multiplayer thing.
I'm going to walk around carrying a giant backpack. Welcome to middle school and the post-apocalypse, bitches.
It's weirdly, it's like it's a great podcast game. The story is batshit and bonkers, and I'm not engaged in it at all. The workaday thing about moving packages from place to place is nice. Because
you were designed to be a gig worker.
Heavy. No, because the crates are actually heavy.
Yeah.
Something porn, something. I'm still working on it. I got a heavy package for you.
Yeah. So there you go. An advertisement for Behind the Bastards and Death Stranding that became available on PlayStation Plus, that's the Sony's service. It was like. And I'm Summer Geek on YouTube, Twitch, and I will be streaming on YouTube and Twitch after I get off this call. We'll be playing more Stardew Valley because it's been like a few weeks since I played Stardew Valley on stream, so I'll be doing that.
You have a lot of weeds to pick. Oh my god.
Yeah.
I don't know what Stardew Valley's like.
But I do have pick weeds as well too. But it's like farming. Stardew Valley is like Room Factory or Story of the Seasons or like Harvest Moon.
So wait, you spend your daily life in a warehouse moving stuff around. And then for fun, you go to a virtual warehouse and move stuff around.
A virtual farm.
Yeah. The rural equivalent of his job.
Yeah, pretty much. Anyway, so I'm also Summer Geek on social media of co-hosts, Tumblr, Blue Sky, and yes, I am on the hell side Twitter, and I'm on Facebook, Jonathan Scott. It's just like if you want to follow me, friend me on Facebook, Jonathan Scott, you can find me there. And John Bruckman, you're part of another. You probably also have some social media sites that you don't advertise.
I mean, I'm on Facebook, but I'm such an asshole. Who would want to be a friend with me? I'm on Blue Sky. As Sir Goshen, SURGOSHAN. I quit Twitter because I'm a good person. Ely.
Thank you very much.
Beyond that, I also do Dungeons and Debacles. a D&D podcast where we play D&D, and at the moment we're kind of cops, and I'm trying to move us away from that, even though my character is super duper the coppest of the cops, because he's a copper dragonborn. And with that, let us say good evening.
Bye bye all. Bye bye.